G'day and welcome to Aussievision. Today we are going to make some predictions about semi-final one and probably get them horrendously wrong. Now, look, Mike, there's a few obvious ones that are going to get through, the two big contenders.
Yeah, obviously Sweden and Finland, two of the favourites for the competition. They do stand out in this lineup. There will be no issue with these two getting through.
Exactly, they look impressive, they sound great. There's good and bad about each one of them, but they are safely through, and we'll talk about them later in the week for the grand final predictions later on. I think there's a couple of others that feel very, very safe here. I think Norway and Israel, both really good performances. Norway's the national final elevated, and Israel's brought like this big sort of banger with great choreography.
Yeah, she's a real star, isn't she, Noah Carell? You can see why she's so popular in Israel. Norway opens the show, you're right. Absolute banger, no problem there. Crowd loved it at the rehearsal show yesterday. And yeah, Israel is spectacular, and that'll be sailing through.
Exactly, all right, there's 4 so far. We also both agree that Czechia and Croatia, I think we feel they're quite safe bets at this point.
Yeah, two very different performances, eh? But at the same token, I think there's markets for both of these, particularly Czechia, I think is really, really fantastic. And obviously Croatia's got that Eurovision kitsch factor that I think will play out well with the Televote.
Yeah, interestingly, in the odds, Croatia's intent to qualify. Look, I don't like the song that much, but I like what they've done with the performance. They've kind of made a bit of structure around this chaos, and I think it's a 100% Televote. I'd be very surprised if they missed out. And Czechia, again, really, really nice performance, actually. Again, there's some improvements that could be made, but I don't think they're going to have any issues at getting through. So that gets to 6 so far.
6.
Now, we have a bunch that we think they're going to get through. We kind of agree. We have Serbia, we have Moldova, and we had somebody else as well. But you talk about Serbia, Moldova, and then I'll remember the other one.
Look, I mean, again, Serbia, it's probably not the most accessible song on first listen, but it's got enough people voting for it. Serbia always get votes. Moldova, personally, I'm not too keen on this. If anyone was going to probably shock non-qualify, it may be them, but at the same token, the votes come for them in a televote situation as well.
Yeah, I think for these two, and I remember the other one, we'll touch on it, but for Serbia, Moldova, I'm not sure how well they'll do in this vote, but I think they'll get through. There's been much better Moldova entries in the past. I think this is going to, if it gets through, scrape through. Could be a shocking queue, but it's just something dark about it, something that just doesn't excite me enough. I wanted more from this. And Serbia, I think, is good, but it's strange. And so I just don't know how people are going to take it. But Serbia, even when they send something terrible, like they only just miss out. Like, you know, when they came 11th in 2017, that wasn't great, but they almost qualified.
It's an odd one because we've seen it both through the TV screen and in the stadium. I definitely think the stadium performance hit me more, and obviously the televotes come through the TV screen, so we'll see.
Yeah, and also in the stadium, it was mainly because of the LEDs that looked fantastic in the stadium, and they don't come quite as strong, I don't think, on TV, unfortunately, because they look great in the stadium. Switzerland was the other one that we agreed on, which is a little surprising, but we both think it'll get through.
Yeah, absolutely. It is 100% televote. It's a very good performance. He sings it very, very well. People vote for that sort of stuff. It's a slick performance. It all works very, very well. They've avoided probably being too heavy-handed with the subject matter, etc. So, yeah, big tick for me. I was being very impressed by Switzerland.
It does everything right. I still believe it's something juries would love, and I think there's enough here for the public to get behind. It's just done very well. He sings it well. The choreography works. The staging works. I hate the lyrics, but no one's going to notice on the night. These are casual viewers. They won't even care that body bags are being mentioned, even though I just don't like it. But I think they'll do okay. I think they'll just get through, and wait, if they do, for a good jury score in the grand final. All right, before we go to the ones on the kind of cusp, let's go the ones that we think are out. Let's start off with Ireland and Azerbaijan.
Yeah, look, Azerbaijan, I don't particularly dislike this performance. I actually quite like things like the colorscape and all that sort of stuff. The boys can perform it. I think it can be a little bit hit and miss. I just don't think it's got enough oomph to push itself past, some of the others. Ireland, it wasn't for me. There's some moments there that are fairly good, like the pyro moment. It's going to be popular in the stadium, big Irish community here in Liverpool, but no, I just don't think it's got the quality to get through, unfortunately.
They got a nice reception in the stadium because of the Irish nature, obviously, and they've some nice pyros. And I actually like the gold suit. I know a lot of other people don't, but that's probably where it ends for me. So look, I don't want to kick them when they're down, but they ain't going to get through. Azerbaijan, I love this song. It's in my top 10, but the staging for me, it's fine. It does a good job. There's some interesting choices with the
split
screens. It's just too much. It's all a bit clunky. But ultimately, even though I love the song, I think the song's just a downfall. It's just not a qualifying song. So good luck to the boys. I'd love to see them through, but I don't think it's going to happen. Also, Latvia, even though I think we both agreed that this was a big glow up from their national final performance, it looked great. The LED use was awesome. I just think, again, it's probably not the type of song in a 100% televote to get through.
Yeah, if there was juries involved, I'd give them a real shot, because I think they've done a really, really good job with this song and this performance. I like the lead singer. He really has a moment at the end, which I think is very, very good. But unfortunately, you're right, I don't think it's got the legs.
And that leaves 3 battling out for one spot for us: Portugal, Malta and the Netherlands, Michael.
I think you can make a case for all of them, to be honest. They're all fairly good. I don't think anyone's bad here. I personally lean towards Netherlands. I like the sort of more sleek and modern aesthetic. Portugal, for me, probably more old school campy cabaret. That's got an audience. And then Malta, you've probably got the young, fun one. I think it's a bit messy, but again, it's got an audience.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're bringing something different, and there's pros and cons. Netherlands, they sing it well, but ultimately, is a song enough and is a staging enough? Even though it's nice, it's just nice to look at, and we've kind of seen it all before. Malta's been quirky and kind of fun, and the opening 2 acts of it look really good. Love the LEDs and love the camera shots. It kind of loses its way in a very kind of weird way. I think the last third. And Portugal, I think she's fantastic, and I think people will like her, but it's a very just black and red performance, but very matte, we've said, and there's no kind of depth to it and nothing to sort of stand out a little bit there. So I think any of them can qualify. They're all good enough to do, and they've got their pros and cons. But ultimately, we have to pick one. Who are you picking out of those 3 to get through?
Look, my heart wants Netherlands to get through. My head says Portugal will get through.
Wow, okay, you just changed from literally an hour ago when we talked about predictions. You always do this to me.
They've got France and they've got Italy voting in this semi-final as well, so I think that bodes well for the Portuguese.
All right, and also what I'll say about the Portugal is it has a nice running order. There's a bit of a, not a flat spot, but just a bit of muted spot, and the crowd really got into it. I am going to go out on a limb, and logic and history and common sense says this can't happen, but I think Malta can qualify. I'm going to put them in. They're running order position 2. They never get any public votes from anybody, and the people that they do aren't voting in this semi. It shouldn't get through. But I think there's something here that people are going to get behind, that Netherlands and Portugal I don't think have done enough here. So I've got to regret this, aren't I?
Yeah, because you've just absolutely given every reason why it won't get through, but then you've still picked them.
Yeah, I don't know. Eurovision throws things around, so we'll see what happens. Just very quickly, let's go through a shock potential NQ. I'm going to say Moldova could be a potential shock NQ.
I don't see any real shock NQs coming here. If anybody would be, I would probably lean towards Moldova as well. But we've seen they've got an excellent televote record, and the fans generally come for them.
All right, well, let's see how it all pans out this evening. Hope your favourite gets through, and let's see how accurate we are.
Good luck.
See you later.